Hi, we're back. We're going to be working today with Salabhasana, also known as Locust Pose, a powerful extension, otherwise known as a back bend. And the reason why I like to use the word extension rather than back bend is because it's not just about bending the back. There's a huge component of lengthening the spine as you extend, which is going to bring more power to your core and just an overall more balanced, healthy feeling in a pose like Salabhasana than if you would just try to crank yourself up off the floor. So there's a few vital key tips and tricks that you want to set your students up with or yourself to ensure success in this pose. The first and foremost is what you do with the pelvis. So I want you to really think about the tailbone dripping down between the legs, or the pubis bone, which is by the front of the pelvis, kind of where the bottom of a zipper would be on a pair of pants, is anchoring down into the floor. Now for some people like myself or Lainey, we have a little bit thinner frame, so sometimes the front hip bones, those bony protrusions on the front of your pelvis, can feel like they're grinding into the floor. So a great way to kind of adjust that is to fold a hand towel and lay that down on the floor and have your hip bones on that hand towel. That will give you a little bit more balance, and it also aids for those of us that just can't seem to get rid of that crick in the lower back, even with good adjustments, to help kind of bring the pelvis back up from being ground into the floor. So one quick tip, 2 variations or 2 adjustments for success. Secondly, we're going to first just work with Ardha Salabhasana, which is the half locust, lifting just the upper body, then we'll do the lower body, then we'll do both. It's really crucial that you stay grounded through the lower body. So what I often like to do is have students curl their toes under, lift their knees and thighs, and kind of shake out the legs a little bit so that the thigh bones can be as parallel and even as possible. So when Lainey sets her legs back down again, they feel very neutral. So we kind of feel like we're on the top of the kneecap, and then down by the feet, the ankles aren't crooked and kind of toes bowing in. She's actually trying to lengthen through the line of the big toe and anchor the top of the feet down onto the floor. So that when we're anchoring into the lower body, we're actually utilizing the muscles of the back body. Yes, you heard me correctly. You are using your back muscles. So that means you may feel contraction there. We want to make sure we don't confuse contraction with pain. Pain is anything hot, shooting, or sharp, anything that creates numbness or tingling. When we are using and activating a body part, especially like the lower back, we feel something there, and for many of us, we all of a sudden go, oh my gosh, fire, something is wrong, because we've avoided using the muscles here for a very long time. I want you to play with that and kind of discover this area of the body again, maybe for the first time. Another nice little trick is we can place a ball between the ankles or a block, and Lainey's going to hug on that ball as she anchors down through the legs so she feels more activation through her lower body, which is going to help keep her anchored just a little bit more. All right, so nice deep breath in. Lainey's going to start with her elbows a little lifted, and she's only going to lift as high as her back muscles are going to take her. So nice deep breath in, lifting on the exhale, pick up your arms and pick up your chest. Not a huge lift, just a nice little hover. She should feel her back, and I'm actually placing my hand on her back body. I can also feel if maybe the muscles of her back, the erectors that run down her spine, are a little uneven and developed. She is a little bit more developed on her right side. I know she has little children at home. I'm sure that's a big component of it. And then her left side, I could even ask her, Lainey, I want you to think about activating this left side just a little bit more. And she just did it to be able to build that up. So something to maybe think about and be aware of. She can also now, nice deep breath in, extend your arms out to T. When you're checking T, you want to make sure that the arms aren't pulled back like broken airplane wings. One adjustment, and I may move out of frame here, I apologize, is I can come and step behind her with my shins and move her arms forward. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That way she knows where her arms should go, and then pull up through the tops of the hands even more. That way she's developing the upper back, not just the mid portion of her back, which often is tight and short for so many people. Slowly bringing her arms back in, she can lower down towards the floor gently. Nice, rest your head, take a breath. Notice how she wasn't lifted very high. I really want to encourage you, it's not about the height of the pose. It's about using the right muscles. I would rather have a student very low and successfully firing The muscles of the back, the erectors down the spine, I often call them railroad ties. The lower back, okay, latissimus dorsi. And also, once we extend the arms out to T or alongside the ears, which we'll do in a second, we're also extending and contracting the traps and even the rhomboids between the shoulders. So we don't get this hunched position because we want a certain arm variation. If you notice people's feet flying up off the floor while they're in this pose, you can just gently step onto their toes with your feet to help hold them down. But the ball between the ankles or a 4-inch block really does help. Again, I'm all about self-adjusting, so if I can get my students to help themselves, it empowers them in their own practice at home to be even more successful. We're going to do the upper body one more time, and I'm going to show you a successful arm transition in extending the arms in full salabhasana once we lift the lower body as well. So nice deep breath in, pubis bone anchors, tailbone drips down. It's more about the lower back. We shouldn't feel a death squeeze in the glutes. And she's going to lift just like she did before, exhaling, lifting. Now turn your palms in, inhale, exhale, shoot your arms forward, Lainey. Awesome. Eye line is going to be down towards the mat, and now imagine trying to push your thumbs to the ceiling. One thing that I often ask my students to do is make a thumbs up, so make a fist, and then push your thumbs to the ceiling, which gives a little bit more power to really igniting the upper back. As a teacher, I may come over to her with my pointer finger and thumb and just draw her neck a little bit longer, reminding her to keep space. And if she were to be looking forward, I can simply adjust her head down. So the arms are alongside the ears, not alongside the chin, just like Warrior 3. This would be a great kind of preliminary posture for Warrior 3 to ignite the right muscles. To come out, retract the arms back in, and then exhale, lower down, head to the opposite side if you do this in multiples, and allow your body to rest. It's a lot of work, isn't it, Lainey? All right, so now we're going to move on to the lower body. I like hand over hand, forehead resting on the hands for the upper body. Some people also will teach with placing the hands underneath the pelvis, framing off the pubis bone. And if you're one of those people, again, that has a more bony, protruding pelvis, that would be a great option. But again, that hand towel will definitely solve some of those problems. But for today, Lainey's going to do the hand over hand and keeping the upper body relaxed and relaxed. There we go, and back. One thing I want to watch for as a teacher is what her upper body is reacting as. So when she lifts her lower body, if she is more weak in that glutes and in the hamstrings, her upper body may try to compensate, and you'll kind of see her pulling up off the floor, either rapidly or even subtly, to try to compensate. Less is more. When you lift, I want you to keep a parallel neutral leg. That's where the ball or the block between the ankles comes in. For many people, their strength may lie in the outer hips and not in the lower glute, so in order to get the legs up off the mat, they turn out like a dancer, okay, like a V position. And I want you to feel the lower glutes, and I want you to feel the hamstrings. Keeping the lower back and the front belly against the floor strong, we're not letting our guts out on the mat, we're actually trying to keep them in and somewhat contained. Shoulders are relaxed, we're lifting on the exhale. Deep breath in, hugging against the ball between the ankles. Exhale, lift your legs up. There's an extension that's happening here. We actually are getting extension through the hip flexor and through the psoas that often goes unnoticed. So we want to make sure we're not bending in the knees to try to get up. I'd rather have an inch or a quarter of an inch lift here and actually be getting that extension than trying to go for the gusto and bending the knees. One thing great about the ball is it tells her instantly if she has a stronger leg or if she's struggling with stability, because the ball is going to roll. And so as she tries to hug even more in on the ball, it's going to help her really engage through the inner leg line, and I can literally see her glutes turn on even more. Can you feel that, Lainey? Awesome. As a teacher, if she still has a turnout on one foot, I would come behind her, grab at her ankle, lower shin, and turn her leg, okay, to whatever degree I want it, or even adjust the feet if they were turned in or out. Again, those little compensations as the body tries to prove it can be successful. We just want to be able to tame that as needed. So one more nice deep breath in, and then exhale, lowering down slow. So Lainey does have a more dominant leg, so the ball kind of keeps her under control, that when she lifts, if I remove the ball, I know I'm asking a lot of her right now, if she would just lift her legs, you can see that that right leg lifts significantly higher than the left leg. And so if she has nothing, it can be really difficult for her to adjust that because she's trying so hard to get her legs up. Now if I have no props, no blocks, no ball, no nothing, one of the simple things in a class setting that I do is I let my students know that as I walk around the room, if I touch one heel, you need to lift that leg a little higher. Boom, she just lifted her leg up. So a simple, easy fix for a large class that's at least going to get them moving in the right direction. Nice job, bring it down. Can you feel that? Awesome. So now we're going to bring it all together, and since we have this little tool, I'm going to put it between her ankles for her. Awesome. She's going to lift her body all at once. You absolutely can lift one portion of the body at a time, especially if you're new to this pose or you want to just kind of slowly bring your students in with a full Salabhasana as an option. Just know that the sky is the limit for how you pair this together. So nice deep breath in. I'm going to have Lainey on the exhale lift her upper body and lift her lower body. There you go. Awesome. And trying to keep it in a respectful ratio between upper and lower body. So if I have students that are really lower body dominant, it looks like the boat is kind of rocked one way. I actually ask them to back off in the lower upper body so that the weaker side can kind of begin to soar and also step up to the plate as well. So as she engages, she's not very high, but she is firing all the right muscles in the right way. She could also slide her arms open to T and see how she kind of comes up a little bit higher. So just a little bit easier to engage those upper back muscles. I'm a big proponent for airplane arms because so many of us are so overstretched here and so tight in the chest and pecs that this variation pretty much serves all of our students all of the time. Nice. So nice deep breath in here. She can exhale, come out, slowly lower the arms down, lower the lower body down. I'll remove the ball. Nice deep breath in. She can press up and sit back onto her heels, stretching out the lower back. Great job.